In this video, I want to share the 4 best day trading strategies that you can trade on the lower time frames. And I want to start with the London high breakout. And for this video, I've added on the 5-minute time frames an indicator that is freely available on TradingView. If you go to TradingView and if you look for the indicator under trading session, this is what will come up, and then this is the one that I'm using. At the time of recording this video, the indicator is freely available. And what it does is that it plots the different trading sessions on your chart. So here in yellow, you can see this is the New York session. Here we have the London close. And then here you can see the Asian session is opening. And this is the Asian session with the red box. And one thing that is really helpful on your charts to mark the last session high and the last session low. So here we can see this is the highest price that we have observed in the New York session. And then after the New York session was over, the market drifted sideways. Between the sessions, especially between New York and Asia Open, there's often not a lot happening. However, then once the Asian session starts, especially if we trade a market and a Forex pair that has exposure to the Asian session, such as here, the Australian dollar, which is also trading in the Asian session, we want to observe how the market is reacting to previous highs. What we can see is that as soon as the Asian session starts, we have a very strong bullish sequence, and the market is able to clear the New York high. Some traders prefer to trade breakouts, some traders prefer to trade retests. I made a few videos on how to trade retests and also liquidity runs. However, in this case, we are choosing a breakout scenario, and this is something that you can then backtest for yourself to see how well it works. And it's really important that you find the right Forex pair, because you want to find a pair that is moving in the specific session that you're trading. If you're trading the Asian session, you want to find a market and a Forex pair that is moving into the Asian session. And in this video, I have also strategies for different market sessions. So if you don't want to trade the Asian session, just stick around the video and I will show you more examples in a moment. But in this case, you can see the initial trend early on in the Asian session was continued during the whole of the Asian session. So when you see how the market is opening early on in a session, there's a high likelihood, obviously not 100%, and nothing works 100% in trading. There's always a chance for losses. There's a high likelihood that often, especially when previous highs or lows are taking out, that the market is able to continue the trend later on in the following session. But I want to also show you a signal where the market is not able to clear a high, and here we're looking at the Asian Open fade. And what we do is, again, we have here the London close, the New York session is starting, and then here, once the New York session is ending, and then we go into the time between the two sessions, we have here a small sideways period where the market is going nowhere. Then just before the Asian session opens, we have a little bit of a breakout, and we want to see how the market is responding to this pre-session breakout. This breakout didn't happen during the Asian session, it happened before that. So this is a really different distinction, because in the previous example I've shown you that the market, as soon as the Asian session started, we saw a rally and then we traded the continuation. In this example, we don't have the Asian session yet when the breakout occurred. And something really different happened in this case. The initial breakout here that happened pre-Asian session was not continued. The market moved lower, then shot higher, but it rejected the opening highs. The market was not able to take out the open highs of the Asian session, and then we see more selling here to the downside. This is not enough of a signal to short just yet, but this is a clear sign that we are, for now at least, seeing more weakness here, and we don't see a lot of strength here early on. Then we see even the opposite signal. We see that the market is now clearing the lows. So the market was not able to continue on the pre-breakout that we have seen pre-Asian session. We rejected the highs. We moved all the way back into the lows, took out the lows here that we have seen in this consolidation. And then you can see during the Asian session, we started a downtrend. We have here the breakout, a little bit of a liquidity run, strong push to the downside, and then the continuation. And during the Asian session, we sold off. So this is a really different distinction and a really important finding that we can make here. Now let's take a look at the New York continuation. What we're seeing here is that during the New York session, the yellow box, the market mostly went down and the market mostly sold off until here at the end of the New York session, the market moved into this support level. Then between the New York and the Asian session, not much happened. The market just stuck here to the lows, and then Asia opened. And now it's really important. Are we able to reject the lows and sell and rally higher, or are we able to clear the low with the Asian Open and then sell lower? And it's really important to observe the price early on in the session opens. earlier in the session when the market has just opened a specific session and you get a signal, those signals are often more meaningful compared to when they happen later in the day. So you really want to see how is the open of a session, what are traders early on in a session doing, and that is often giving you a good indication of what might happen later during those sessions as well. And in this case, you can see just after a few minutes, and we are here on the 5 minute still, after a few minutes the market sold off, broke the New York lows, and this is a really important signal. We are still here trading into this longer term downtrend, and then this is where the market sold off. So this is why I call it the New York continuation, because during the New York session we have mostly seen here a short market, a sell-off, and then the market was sticking to the level. If you watch my previous videos, this is what we would call a breakout buildup, where the market is really sticking to the levels. And then we have the breakout, the actual breakout, taking out the lows. And then during the Asian session, especially in the beginning of the Asian session, we're able to continue this downward trend. And now I want to show you the London liquidity run. Here we are looking at the transition between the Asian session, and then here you can see London session is opening. And here we are on the British pound US dollar, because during the London session, the British pound obviously is a market that moves quite a bit. What we see here is the Asian high, and what we're seeing here is the Asian low. And we want to observe how the market is reacting to the Asian high and the Asian low during the London session. Very early on, you can see this is probably just within the first 1.5 hours of the London session. We are seeing that the market is taking out the Asian high, then breaking lower, giving us this deep retest, and then the thing that we need for a liquidity run, if you've been paying attention to my previous videos with the price action patterns, the strong reversal. The stronger the reversal after such a deep retest, the better it is, because it can often foreshadow continuations. If you see that the market after a breakout is falling into the pattern and then not giving you strong bullish signs, this is not a continuation signal, or not as likely to be a continuation signal. But in this case, we have a strong bearish rejection followed by a strong bullish follow-up, and then the strong breakout where we take out all previous highs. So in that case, you can see the London session opened with a strong bullish push, the retest, which is very common, especially around strong support and resistance areas, and then the retest held and the market was able to continue higher. Then this is often a sign for breakout and continuation traders to look for continuations into the trend. And then you can see during the London session and into the New York session, the market was able to continue. Here we see that the New York session opened, the price was able to take out the London highs and then even continue this trend further. So those are some really fascinating and interesting examples of what can happen during the opens of sessions. We look for breakouts, we look for fakeouts, we look for what happened in the previous session that has been going on, we look for continuations, and then this way you can improve your understanding about session open trading. And this is especially important for day traders. One thing that is really important still to highlight is that you find markets that have strong exposure to the session that you're trading. London, you want to trade, for example, the British pound. During the New York session, you want to trade US dollar and also the CAD dollar. So if you are interested in those strategies, make sure that you backtest them thoroughly, and then you can find the best Forex pair for the specific session that you want to trade. And then this can lead you to finding the edge that you need in the markets.